Amendments are coming to a bill law enforcement officers in Colorado say could have a major impact on public safety. It involves an arrest technique called prone restraint. I spoke with the bill's sponsor and the Colorado Springs chief of police about the effect this bill could have.
Once it's safe for me to do so, now I can put them in handcuffs.
This man lying down on the ground is in the prone restraint position. Law enforcement in Colorado Springs say it's a common technique used in arresting a suspect.
Your other hand up the small of your back for me, please.
It's a technique state lawmakers are taking a close look at.
Colorado law is not clear on whether or not prone restraint is a use of force by law enforcement, and if it folds into the police accountability bills that we passed in 2020.
That's State Representative Leslie Herod, one of the bill's prime sponsors. She's talking about bills passed 4 years ago, which in part allows the public to sue members of law enforcement under certain circumstances.
Well, this is a bill that really does concern me.
Colorado Springs Chief of Police Adrian Vasquez sees the bill as a ban of something used by officers nearly every day.
So it is a ban from the utilization of it, except under deadly force circumstances as written. And if you think about that, the vast majority of contacts that we have are not deadly force situations. Now, we don't use the prone technique under all those circumstances, but so many of them are not deadly force situations.
On Monday afternoon, Representative Herod told us she will introduce an amendment that makes clarifications, including defining prone restraint as a use of force and requiring law enforcement agencies to create policies on when they use the technique. In talking with law enforcement, it sounds like this is a pretty common technique that can be used every day. Some say it goes too far and they're calling it a ban. What do you make of that?
Well, I'm not sure which law enforcement you're talking to, but the ones we've been working with understand that this is not a ban at all.
I spoke with our police chief. He's saying it is a ban because it's only able to be used in instances of deadly force.
So that has all been amended, and he's well aware of the amendments and has seen them as they've worked through the process.
Representative Herod says this bill is needed to clarify how the technique is used.
I think it's really important that we understand when prone restraint should and shouldn't be used as a use of force. It requires that law enforcement provide medical attention when prone restraint is used. And it requires that someone be put in the recovery position as soon as safe for the scene. That means that someone needs to be able to breathe.
Police, stop!
This is a tactic that our officers use so often, and it is really about their safety and the safety of the individual that they're taking into custody.
Give me your hands. Get your hand out. Hand out!
This is an example of prone restraint during a CSPD arrest. In some cases, suspects have died in the position, most notably the 2020 death of George Floyd in Minneapolis. But Chief Vasquez believes there can be a middle ground when it comes to regulating the prone restraint technique.
So training and policy around when is it appropriate? What are the right times to move them into that rest position, moving them up in the seated position? Absolutely. I think we can all get behind that.
I can roll them over onto their side.
We've already been training, and I think most of the police departments across the state already train the movement from that prone position when it's safe to do so into the recovery position, into a seated position, or potentially standing up and getting into a police cruiser or something like that.
And over the decades, I saw a lot of different tactics come and go. The one that seemed to be consistent is a prone position.
Steve Noblet worked as a police officer for nearly 3 decades. He now runs a private security company in Colorado Springs.
I do worry that it just creates an environment that makes it more and more difficult for officers to do a very, very difficult job in the first place.
He believes legislation like this could cause confusion for officers.
I think that officers have enough on their plate. They have enough things that they need to be concerned about. They already have limited tactics available to them, limited things on their tool belt. This just takes one of those things away.
Let's move you into a seated position.
Noblet says it was typical in these arrests to place someone into the recovery position as soon as they were arrested.
Get on the ground. Colorado Springs Police.
That makes perfect sense. We want people in a recovery position as soon as possible.
He echoes the concern for how it could impact the safety of officers.
You're constantly thinking about compassion for suspects and all people alike, but at the same time, you're like, hey, my wife told me I need to come home tonight.
I did reach out to CSPD after speaking with Representative Herod today about the amendment. The police chief sent the following statement saying, while there's been talk of amendments to the bill, I will need to wait and see what any amendments that are formally introduced say before I could comment on them. That bill is scheduled for a committee hearing tomorrow. We'll let you know what happens.